Good morning. How are you this morning? Uh, Somebody decided that my debit card was their debit card and bought some Apple points on it, so it got shut down, and I'm getting a new one. Luckily, it was $5.99. Mm, My mom says, "Oh, it was some kid." I said, "No, that was some test to see if they could get some money out of my card." Is what it was, and if they could, they were going to get more. But my bank closed it down. So luckily, within all of this, my wonderful cats ran out of their food. So I could either ride my bike 6 miles to go get one tin of food. Food? Ew, that sounds really gross. One tin of food or two tins, which is what I could afford down at that gas station. Or I could get the food down at the gas station. Well, I went down the gas station and got it. $2.39 for a can of 9 lives pate, which they don't even like pate, but it still smells somewhat like their food. Oh, I had a little over $7 on my PayPal because something had come in or whatever, and it's like, okay, I've got to go get that. But someone paid my sales or part of my sales tax. I found 5 cents on the ground on the way there, so it's my lucky day. That's like finding a penny, but now it's a nickel. It's not even nickel anymore. I forgot what Dad said it was. It's coated, something coated tin, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't even feel. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't. It feels too. Of course, it's been squished a couple of times in the road and whatever, but it doesn't. It doesn't feel. It feels metal, but it doesn't feel. It feels Canadian. Like a lot of their coins used to be. I don't know now. Used to be magnetic. Like their pennies. Was it their pennies? No. It was, I think, their dimes and nickels. You could put a magnet on them. I always loved Canadian money. Just because it's the closest country to me. But I always thought that their money was pretty. Um, then Moody says Australian money looks like Monopoly money, and it does. Like the hundreds look like the same color as the hundreds in a Monopoly. I can't remember like the ones or even if they have ones or whatever. He says, but it looks like a Monopoly set. And I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. But he says, how do you tell the difference between your monies then? I said, we look at the denomination on it. Do we look? Like there was this one time, um, the special education van had to show up at our house because, well, we were special education children. Um, and we didn't go to school in our school district. I went to we went to school in a different school district. So one of the neighbor kids would catch the van, and it was a van, and it was probably about the same color. It was maroon. It was like the same color of my hair, and everybody knew it was the cart. Um, so this kid, he shows up. He's got Down syndrome, and he shows up and he says, "I took $1 from my mom," and he showed it to me, and it was $100 bill. And no, this we were kids. Well, okay. The sibling rode the cart before I did, so I was a kid when it happened because I was ready to going into school for the actual school district I was supposed to go to. I didn't go into Alanson schools where I met Pam until I was 8th grade. About 15. It's about 15 when I got into that school. Shortly after I got into that school, she and I became friends. So, I mean, I swear I was in ninth and she was in uh 10th, but she said she was in 11th. So she might have been too, because I went to, here's another reason that I don't really follow going to church. I went to a Christian school when I was younger. Mom and dad chose the Christian school because bullying wasn't quote unquote bullying wasn't allowed there. Bullying wasn't allowed there from the children, but it was okay for the adults to be bullies. I mean, you're sitting there as a girl, the only thing you can wear to school is a dress. And the preacher man standing there staring you straight at the face, in your face, my dress was long enough to cover my calves when I sat down. Okay? It's staring me in the face going, God doesn't like women's bare legs. It was beaten into you that if you were a woman, you were a bad person. That is why I don't do. That is the surface of why I don't do church. Anyway. So they had in the Christian school, they had a higher curriculum, as in third graders were supposed to know how to spell the word chrysanthemum. And I did not, because I had just come from public school, which wasn't as up to par as they were in their education. So I got held back from the fourth grade into the third grade. And so I graduated when I was 19. I should have graduated when I was 18, because I think I started school later. I mean, kindergarten later, because I was in some kids were from 73, some kids were from 74. So the 74 ones were younger, so they started a little later than the 73 ones. I don't remember. I was a kid and I had to go to school. That's all I know. Last night, Aunt T became a cat burglar. I was riding my bike home when I saw my mom and dad the other day, and she had a cat perch. I have to put my eyeballs on so I don't trip on everything. It's sitting on the side of the road. So I was like, okay, well, some neighbor might need that or want it or whatever. I checked last night, about 9 o'clock, it was still sitting there. 3 o'clock in the morning, peak time for Aunt T to wake up. Get on my clothes, my shoes, go walk over there, and I drag this thing back over to my home. And I don't know. Whoa! See, they have all of these. And you can see what she's up there. There's a squirrel running around. And this is their new one. And I have no idea where to put it, because it's right next to my bathroom. Let me see. There we go. But that's their new one. And this is even a lot more. It's a little more sturdy, I guess. But I'm lurking around at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, because what I do is I like to make sure that if somebody if she sets something out and I want it, because she ain't going to offer it to me, because she's just that way. She's nasty. If I want something, it's always no. No. But if it's sitting on the side of the road, it's fair game. She already knows that I took her last one, which is the one in the middle. She built all of those. She built a lot, not the 2 commercial grade ones that I just showed you, but the rest of the purchase, she built them. She kept wanting to upgrade. She didn't want this for the cat. That didn't fit in the house. This doesn't blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, I'll find a place for it. My cats love them. She thinks she's in the trees. Sorry about my throat. I just took a big guzzle of my coffee. So here I am running around being a cat burglar in the middle of the night trying to grab this perch. Like I said, she probably already knows that it was me that took it because I was the one that took this last one. It's going to be a beautiful day today in the 60s. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably nothing because I have nothing in my wallet. Probably should call the bank to tell them I can't get into my online banking, but that's probably a moot point since I don't have a card, I guess. I'll call them when I get my card. It's going to go to my mom and dad's house. There's another story about that one too. Oh, I saw a vinegar jug sitting there. I'm like, why are those sitting there? I gotta find a place for those too. Probably back under where I found them before. 3 gallons of water sitting right there. That sure helped, man, when I ran out of electricity. Having spare water, that really helped. And it's just in plastic. And I mean, honestly, I think it had been there for about 3 years, but I didn't care. I didn't taste plastic. I didn't taste anything, just water. I lucked out. Do I have my shirt on backwards? It feels backwards. I think I have my shirt on backwards. Yeah, it was on backwards. Oh, I haven't done my face routine yet. I haven't done any teeth or anything like that. 'Cause the only thing that I heard was, ah, I'm hungry. Oh, when you're in the situation of you have to be the one that gives them their food, and then there's no way you can give them their food. I mean, it was so desperate. He absolutely cannot stand human food. He will eat some chicken. Excuse that light. I really don't even need it. Well, I do in the bathroom because I'll show you. There's no light in the bathroom. But I suppose I could walk out here and do this. But he absolutely cannot, and she will too. She'll put her nose right on up to human food. Unless she likes tuna, canned tuna, and he likes canned chicken. He also likes canned ham. All of that, except for the tuna, or both the chicken and the ham, full of salt. So I don't like giving it to him. And then the tuna, you know, there's a warning on tuna about lead because of fish or whatever, you know, fish being whatever. Pregnant people don't eat fish, don't eat tuna. Of course, if you're pregnant, you didn't eat fish. Wow, Tressa, that was bad. He's got a little bit of humor in herself this morning. I messed around with dyeing some yarn yesterday. It's probably not going to stick. Because what I did was some yarn that I did a while ago. I have a ball of it, but it's mixed in with this new yarn. I used gel pens and isopropyl alcohol. I soaked the material. When I go to yard sales, I look for homemade washcloths. And if they look in decent shape, because yarn also loses its fluff over the years. And especially in washcloths, I mean, it's cotton. So if it's in good shape, I grab them. But the last one I tried was isopropyl alcohol and gel pens. Because, you know, I found these gel pens, and I'm sure I've had them for like 5 or 6 years. And you know, once you open the seal on it, those things don't work. So I sat there and blow penned it on the soaked material. Let it set for a couple of days and rinsed it off in hot. Well, actually, that one, I learned that with that one, You don't put isopropyl alcohol in your oven. Because, man, did that fumes smell. So basically what I learned with isopropyl alcohol and vinegar, because I learned that with this one, because this one I soaked in vinegar, was you just don't heat it up. You rinse it off with hot water until it won't rinse anymore. And then this stuff has not been actually through a washer, so I don't know if the ink or the dye is going to stick or if it's going to run and hit the white part of whatever I'm working on, what it's going to do. I'm just going to have to find out and work with that when it happens. I just fed him. He's probably complaining about the pate, because he likes the chunks with the gravy. Either that, we might start hearing scratching. He might be announcing that arrival. Sometimes he does that. I need to go. Dude, I changed it yesterday, so you shouldn't have an issue. He does. They do. They look at me like, they used my box. She's like, Charlie used my box, Mom. Go take her stuff out of my box so I can use it. They're picky about it. I soaked this one in vinegar. And the colors I got, it was, I don't even know what kind of dye it was, because it wasn't food grade, because the eggs you were supposed to dye with it were almost paper mache or ceramic or something. And I'm like, and it was liquid, and it came into some eggs that we gave to my grandnephew to play with. Well, I quickly snatched that up. And said, okay, I'll take that home and play with it with yarn and see what happens. So I don't know if the ink's going to stay or if it looks pretty for now. We'll figure it out. I mean, if it doesn't stay, it'll just look like a plain gray piece of something that I made. No biggie, because, I mean, gray has its place in this world too. Gray makes a lot of things. Gray makes things look not as dark as black, but not as pure as white. And that's something I like about gray. Obviously, I'm wearing it. Ooh. It's not as, goth and dark and eat your soul black and making everything turn into black, yeah. And it's not as, Mary Poppins white. It's just more of it's a gray area. I'm trying to figure out if I want to start a stitch today or if I want to take my yarn apart. Because I take this stuff apart. That's why it's in lengths like this. Because there's 4 strands in there. 4 strands equals lace weight. And so it turns into dun, 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 that kind of thing. And I won't. I would kind of call it a risk if I were making that into a gift for somebody, because I don't know if the colors are going to stay. However, I can mess around with this one, which it used to be somebody's old washcloth that I found at a yard sale. I can mess around with that one, keep it for myself if I like it. If it stays, keep it for myself if I don't like it either. But if it stays, and then know what I did know what I did for the next time. Again, it's just an experiment. I like to experiment on stuff. Moody for Christmas got me a scientist kit. He says, you're always messing with stuff. You're always tinkering with stuff. You're always in the kitchen. You're like, oh, that'll taste good together. He's like, you just always, what if? Oh, what's it going to hurt to try? And honestly, I don't mind having that said about me. That means that my mind's still working. That means it's still doing its gear grinding up there. I don't mind that. One thing I did forget to do was take my pills. All my pills. I don't want to take that lysine one, but I also don't want to have cold sores. Wonder if I cut it into halves and took 2 halves. Of course, I don't know what could cut that. Do I need to get a saw blade out for that? Them things are logs. I haven't taken my meds yet. I'm going to stop in and do that. Took my old bread knife and cut them in half. Let's see if this is easier to take. Sorry about that light. Ew. I wish they had coating on them. But that was easier. I took my bread knife and did it. This thing? Hampton Forge. I have had this knife since I moved into this house. It has cut foam. It has cut styrofoam. It's cut little tiny pieces of wood. It's cut pills. It's cut bread. But it's still like a saw blade. It's not, it's not dull. So, I mean, superior steel, no stain, Epicure, 10-138K-7H-24. 8-inch, 20.3 centimeters. It says bread. So, I mean, if you want to look at them knives up, there's all the numbers for it and whatever's written. I'm glad that was written on there, man, if I ever want to find another one. But I tell you, I swear, I have saved this out of the gutters of everything. And no, Pam, it's not a poop knife. That's the one I found when I was cleaning under the cabinet. It's not a poop knife. I guess since I'm over here, I'll make another cup of coffee. I have my aloe. And I put the one in here, and either my cat got in there and jumped in there and dragged it out, or it jumped out. There's the garlic. There's the one that I thought's probably rotten, but it still feels stiff. So it might be dead, might not. Probably go put that one outside today. When that garlic starts bushing up, because there's only those 2 little, I might have to trim that one right there. There's only those 2 little ones right now, but that'll start bushing up and I'm going to have fresh garlic. Because the grass on a garlic is like an onion on a garlic. Whoo! No, you want onion and garlic together, go out in the woods, in northern Michigan at least, and go find yourself some leeks. And leeks, wild leeks, they taste so good with lentils. One time the sibling goes, how many leeks does it take to make pea soup? Okay. Cussing me out all the time. I swear that cat is a little old man. Oh, now he's playing. Oh, he's got the zoomies. What are you doing, dude? You want to play? Turd. Yeah, on my short, I wrote, I'm a cat burglar. I said, I'm a cat burglar because I stole the cat tower. I said, am I a turd burglar too? Because I steal their turds every day. Not every day, but every other day too. I didn't realize this, but that's getting quite the child on it. That's what's going on. Nice. Nice. Now, I figured that, like, if I'm opening up a can where I need both hands, or again, when I need a break, like, going on, I'll just pause you because nobody wants to watch. Wonder why I was riding the purple cart, huh? Speaking of the purple van, it was a van. I swear, if it hadn't had the symbol on the side that said it was for special education, the driver could pull up and say, "Hey kids, I got some candy. You want to get in?" It was just, it just was sus. It was, now they've got school buses and it says, Shar-M right across it, but it's still a school bus and it's kind of a little bit more dignified than what we had. I don't have any issues picking up a cat perch from her house because I know there is no fleas in her house. I know that her house is very clean and that's got very minimal issues to it. So it's not like I walked over to some house like mine and drugged it out of a flea infested whatever. It was very, very clean, very good environment that it came from. I can't say bad stuff about her living conditions. She lives very, very nice over there. When I have something bad to say about somebody, I have something bad to say about somebody. When I have something good to say about somebody, and it doesn't matter if I've already said something bad about this person, I still look at the good things that they do as well. So I just wanted to put that in there, that it's not like I got that from a trusted home, and I know that it's not going to hurt my cats to have it in here. And I know that she wouldn't specifically put something that they sicked on, or that would put another animal in danger. She's not that way. She may be not nice to other people, but she really loves animals. So now, here's what I have to say about bullying. Okay? Since I was little, going to school, nothing but being bullied. All the way through school, all the way through workplaces, all the way through this, that, and that. I have not caught a break. I mean, bully, 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 bully. The biggest bullies were in my house. The sibling. I was born, so I ruined her life. And another person. I'm not going to mention them because, who they were. Because they've since changed their ways, and I love them very much. So I lived with bullies. And the reason I got bullied so much is because sibling was older than me, couldn't stand me, again, for not, for being born. So she would tell her classmates, who would tell their brothers and sisters, their younger brothers and sisters, all the wildest crap she could think of about me, and just ruin my name. Nobody liked me because of her. And then later on, nobody liked me because of me, because I I grabbed an attitude. My attitude was, screw you. I don't need ya. I don't need the crap spewing out of your mouth. And that's where I get in a couple videos back where I said, you can't hurt my feelings. It's already been said. Already been said, already been done. I've come out of that, and I don't care what you have to say about me. Because I've had enough of it. I've heard it all. And it does, again, it doesn't affect me that you're having an issue with me. It affects you. It affects your health. You're the one sitting there worrying and pulling your hair out about what my next move might be. Why? Why don't you pull your hair out about what your next move is going to be? What I do in my life is insignificant to what happens in your life, and vice versa. You know what? I figured I'd come out here and have coffee and in the nice, beautiful morning. I think it's close to a little bit more than 60 or 50 degrees right now. I think it's 9 a.m. I'd have to look, but I'm on my phone. But I just said, you know what? I said I'd probably put that one outside. I put them all out here. I'm like, it's warm enough. That survived through the power outage, which, I mean, you could see my breath in my house. So, I mean, I figure I'd just come out here and sit on my porch and figure out what I was going to do for the day. I could sweep the porch off. There's stuff hanging out that I probably should just throw in the trash, like that old tent. It's just nothing. I had it for a greenhouse one year because it was like $38 on sale somewhere on one of the, it was probably Wish. That was before I discovered Temu. But what I want to do this year is, one thing that I want to do is I want to take that old fridge that's standing right there and put it on its side. Because I'm tired of having it way up tall. Of course, if it's way up tall, somebody over on the other side ain't going to be looking through my window. But I can't be looking through my window. And I look through my window and I see an old fridge. And I don't like that. And I don't know what to do with it, other than let it sit there. I have an old toilet on my porch too, which I don't know what to do with. You can't just dispose of them. I was thinking about planting something in there, and I tried to do research on that, and they say yes and no and yes and no. I'm like, okay, what is it? And then I thought, well, I mean, it's still got this, I haven't turned it over. It probably has bees in it, but it's still got that scale in it from when I used it in the other bathroom. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. So it just sits there. Hear the mourning doves? Those remind me of Journey. Of course, they're quiet now that For many, many, many years, I thought that they were mourning as in good morning. And then I found out that they're mourning as in crying mourning because they sound sad. And I don't like that, so I call them mourning doves because I hear them in the morning. The handcart seems to be doing something. I can see more green on the lawn. But it isn't like tall, like that stuff on the edge there. Those I'll have to come get with the buzzer. But those get so tall that it like piles over the entrance and stuff. So doing what I've been doing has been keeping it at least at bay. I want to be able to walk out in my yard and not have to run through the jungle. So this stuff here, and I've got a bag that I could probably just start throwing stuff in. This was covering up that, which that little guy, what I want to do is turn this on its side because, and It's got cavities in it. You can't really see. It's got the top and the bottom, the freezer and the fridge. So I could stack things in it, like stuff, outdoor things in it. I could probably take my lawnmower off and apart and stick it in it in the wintertime or whatever. I mean, I could put the doors back on. I have the screws for it. But I want it on its side so I don't have to look at it all the time. I mean, imagine looking out your window and seeing that. So that's what my big plan is, to do that on the side. And then what I might do is, honestly, put this little one on the top and use it, because it's got... Yep, I'm going to get that garbage bag. It's gross in there because it's been sitting outside. There's them eggs Alana could never get out of there because she froze them in there. Ew. But that would be a nice outdoor cabinet too. Storage cabinet too. So those are the things I need to clean off of my porch. Now, where I would put that refrigerator, I have no clue. Yeah. There's that old toilet I'm stuck with. I don't know what to do with that. So it just sits there. I ain't planting nothing in there. Because, I mean, can you imagine planting, like, I don't know, strawberries in a toilet? I don't want to eat that. No, thank you. That, not garden. There's a... Oh, I think you might have seen it on one of my winter walks. There's a field right across the street from me. Past those tall trees. Just like right over there. And I don't know where they get it. And I think they might get it from emptying the airplanes. But they fertilize that field with human stuff. And I'm like, I hope I've never eaten anything out of there. I don't think they can use it for food. Because I know that meat eater waste carries parasites that would follow through into food. That's why you can't use cat litter or even dog mess. You could if you weren't a meat eater, or if they weren't meat eaters, but they are, and I am. So, and a lot of people I know are. I wonder how much of a nest is inside this cat. But yeah, I don't know. No nest yet, but that was in it. That's my third cat. Bina gave it to me many, many, many years ago. She said to me, I'm surprised that thing is still, like, intact. And on the bottom it said somebody's name in 1987. I'm damn near 40 years old. Wow. So I might just take the handcart to the places that I can take the handcart to, and then I'll get the buzzer. Might get the buzzer out too. I'm just waiting because earlier this time of day is usually got like dew, and that's not the best time to be cutting your yard is dew, because it will clog your whatever machine you're using. It doesn't matter if you're using a saw blade or if you're using that little rinky-dink manual thing. You're going to clog your lawnmower up. So later on I'll probably come out and do that. But I think I'm going to go inside and I'm going to start crocheting, and I'm going to see if I have something else to say later.